98.9 WCLZ. With me in the studio is Congresswoman Chellie Pingree, who's serving her first term in the House representing Maine for 8 years. Chellie served in the Maine State Senate, including 4 years as Maine Senate Majority Leader. While in the Maine Senate, she fought for economic and social justice, notably working to pass the prescription pricing bill, Maine RX. Aside from politics, she's worked as a farmer and a local tax assessor, and is currently the co-owner of a bed and breakfast on the island of North Haven. Thank you for coming in today, Chellie.
Thanks for having me. It's true. I still own a bed and breakfast. It's good to have a backup job. We even have a little bar there. I always tell people my highest calling is really to be a bartender, but I haven't gotten there yet. So anyway, I'm learning along the way. But thanks for having me.
Of course. And your official biography says that you never imagined a life in politics. Is that really true? Or are we going to someday find one of those kindergarten essays that tells us otherwise?
Yeah, both my parents have passed away, so they can't quite validate it. I don't think I ever said in kindergarten, no, I think I'll be the president of the United States. I really think they thought I was sort of destined to, I don't know what. Certainly, not a big career in politics. I'm not a lawyer. But, sometimes things just work out that way. And sometimes it's good to have a very diverse background. It helps to be an organic farmer when you're debating the farm bill. You never know. So.
And how has that transition to Washington been?
It's pretty good. I'm a freshman, so I still get lost in the hallway once in a while. It's a very complicated tunnel to get from your office building over to the Capitol building. There's a lot going on with a tough economy and so many demands on our time. But it's an amazing time to be there. It's very exciting. And we have a lot of big stuff coming up this summer around healthcare and renewable energy, things that people really want to have happen in Maine. So it's good. And
what's been the biggest surprise so far? What did you not expect?
That's a very good question. Somebody described this as like drinking out of a fire hose. I kind of forgot how much I would have to learn so quickly. You get used to doing things in life and you forget what it's like to be a freshman. You have to learn everything and set up a new office and, the kinds of legislation from credit cards to, public land bills. I mean, everything comes at you all at once and it's a lot to learn very quickly. But, it's great. People are enthusiastic in spite of the economy and sort of the difficult times. People have a lot of hope right now. They're still excited about the president and they love Michelle. And, it's nice. I mean, I think it's a good time for our country in that way.
And what's your assessment of President Obama so far?
I think he's doing a good job under very tough circumstances. He's out front on international issues. He doesn't mind taking on the credit card companies or whoever it needs to be. And he's very tough on this health care bill. He's determined to pass something, which is probably what I hear about from people more than anything else. And when he's got something on his mind, he doesn't stop pushing, whether it's Democrats or Republicans. He's just kind of on it.
And so if you could wave a magic wand and just immediately pass any one law, what would it be?
Well, since I've already said it a couple of times, I actually think it would be health care. We've got 2 wars to end. We've got huge gas prices looming again. We've got a lot of challenges in front of us. But the issue I hear about more than anything else really is health care. And given that we're the only Western nation that doesn't have some system for making sure everybody is covered, I know we can do this. So I'd like to just get it over and done with. It's going to take a long time to work the bugs out of the system, and I would just like to see it passed. I hope we do it this summer.
So that counts as a short-term goal then. What other things immediately are you looking to work on, and what are your goals?
Another big bill we're going to have in front of us this year is the Renewable Energy Bill, and that could be big for Maine. People are still losing their jobs in the state. We've lost a lot of manufacturing business, but we had the Energy Secretary in to talk to the whole delegation last week about putting big wind towers off the coast of Maine. A lot of people are interested in solar energy, tidal power. Maine's already a state where people burn wood and have pellet stoves and a lot of other things, so we could become a real model, and there's a lot of jobs in all of that, whether it's construction jobs of wind towers or people who maintain them. I mean, I would just like to see us be a state that really takes on sustainable energy and is a model for the rest of the country.
All right. And so you're approached by constituents all the time with their pet requests and peeves and
yes.
their specific things that they're interested in. So as a radio station, the one bill now that's especially holding our interest is the current request by international record labels to have radio stations pay more for the music that we play. Currently, CLZ, I think, pays about $40,000 a year in royalty fees. And right now, the record companies are obviously suffering in the same economy we are. And they also have the double whammy of internet music and downloading, and they're losing money, obviously. And meanwhile, they're in our station every day calling and visiting and asking us to play the music that they've just released because it contributes to increased sales. So our question is, we know that they're looking for more money to help sustain their business, but it's also a difficult time for every business. With them asking Congress to do that, we're asking for support from Congress to sort of help keep our radio stations as viable as they are now. What are your thoughts?
Well, good job. You laid that out very well. And it's a tricky issue.
It's complicated.
It's complicated. And I have to say, one of the nice things about being a member of Congress is you learn about things you had no idea about before, like, how do radio stations work and what is happening with internet radio and how does that, kind of play into all of this. I'm trying my best to keep a very open mind, listen to both sides. The GAO, the Government Accounting Office, is actually doing a study of this that we won't even see until November. So I want to collect all the data and information. But my leaning is to make sure that we keep our small radio stations alive. I've been a strong supporter of radio for a long time. Been very sorry to see the number of radio stations that have actually closed in our state and don't want to see that keep happening. So I love radio. I think it's a great way to get local information, to have a chance to hear more local musicians. So I want to do everything I can to make sure that we don't put any undue or unnecessary burden on our local radio stations, and I hope that's the way this comes out. It's already generated a lot of conversation in Congress, and just as you said, everybody's scrambling to find more ways to make money, but we don't want that taken out of the back of our local stations and them to lose their ability to keep going. So I'm going to let you know how this goes as time goes on, but my guess is that we won't even see any kind of debate or real legislation come to the floor till way towards the end of the year.
And one final question. Here at CLZ, we say it's about the music. So what is, in your free time, which I'm sure you have so much of, what's your favorite music? What do you listen to?
I listen to everything. I like bluegrass. I like country. I like contemporary music. You were talking about Dar Williams being here. I love her and female performers. I'm pretty much, somebody who surfs the dial, listens to a little bit of everything. The Beatles, the 60s. I'm there for everything. And I have to say, our family's favorite band, one of our best friends, is part of the Tough Cats here in Portland, so we love their music all the time.
Good. Little plug, too.
Little plug for those guys, yeah.
Thank you so much for coming in today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.